Welcome, friend. Today, we're going to see how a talented intelligence officer turned traitor and started killing important top military officers. Initially, senior RAW officer VK Naidu gives orders to RAW agent, and his name is Kabir, to kill a terrorist in Syria and leads a mission. Kabir now takes aim with sniper to shoot the terrorist. Meanwhile, the terrorist arrives. Seeing this, Naidu orders to shoot Kabir. Kabir shoots, but instead of killing the terrorist, the bullet hits Naidu's shoulder. After a short conversation, Kabir shoots him in the head. Kabir had set up a sniper camera and pretended to be in Syria and had come to India to kill Naidu. After this, in the parliament, the defense minister and Colonel Luthra are discussing the situation. Luthra says, "We sent Kabir to Syria on a terrorist mission, but instead of staying there, he came to India and killed senior officer, turning traitor to country." Hearing this, the defense minister asks him to find Kabir soon, before he kills any other officers. In the next scene, we see a RAW agent named Khalid, who is a master in combat skills. He takes down some criminals and informs his superiors that the mission has been completed. After that, the colonel calls him for a meeting. He enters a building and uses a non-working elevator to enter the RAW office. In that office, Colonel Luthra discusses with other RAW agents how Kabir could have entered India using multiple passports. Colonel Luthra is about to assign a RAW agent to catch Kabir, but Khalid interrupts and says, "Sir, I am the only person who knows him well. I can predict his next move, so I will take responsibility." Initially, the colonel is hesitant, but after some consideration, he agrees to let Khalid lead the team. In flashback, 2 years ago, Kabir leads his team, finishes a mission, and lands at a secret base, where Khalid eagerly waits for him. Kabir was a hero to Khalid, and somehow, Khalid wanted to join Kabir's team and work with him. The colonel requests Kabir to take Khalid into his team, telling him that Khalid is well-trained and skilled. However, Kabir refuses, citing that Khalid's father had become a traitor. Khalid, determined to prove himself, responds, "Maybe my father was a traitor, but I'm not." Seeing Khalid's confidence and the colonel's consideration, Kabir eventually agrees to take Khalid into his team. Afterward, they begin preparing for the next mission. They are briefed about an attack on a flight last year by a terrorist named Bashir, with weapons supplied by a notorious arms dealer, Rizwan Ilyasi. Kabir explains that Ilyasi is one of the most dangerous weapon dealers, but there's no concrete evidence linking him to any illegal arms deals. Kabir continues, "By capture Bashir, we can prove Ilyasi's involvement in these illegal dealings." In the next scene, the team travels to Iraq, disguised as locals, searching for Bashir. Meanwhile, a group of terrorists in a car arrives and is about to kill a woman. Seeing this, Kabir can't tolerate it, so he shoots the terrorist. As a result, Kabir is caught and taken to their hideout. There, he is tied up and beaten. The terrorist leader, Bashir, arrives and realizes that Kabir and his team have come to capture him. However, Kabir reveals a GPS tracker hidden in his mouth secretly. Using the signal from the tracker, Khalid and his team quickly came. Khalid, armed with a gun that is fixed in his vehicle, shoots at the terrorist from his vehicle, and the team engages in a fierce fight. Although Bashir was difficult to defeat, Khalid and Kabir work together to take him down. The team gathers after the battle. That night, after successfully completing the mission, the team members encourage Khalid. However, Kabir calls him into his office and tells him that while he performed well in the mission, he missed some shots, especially those on his right side. Kabir realizes that Khalid has a blind spot in his right vision and asks him about it. Khalid begins to explain that during his childhood, some school bullies attacked him and injured his eyes, which caused a blind spot. Despite this, Kabir decides to keep Khalid on the team, believing in his skills. He advises him to keep the targets to his left side to compensate for the blind spot. After this, they engage in a celebration by dancing. Meanwhile, they receive a message simultaneously from the colonel and informs them that, after arresting Bashir, as they had expected, Ilyasi traveled to Morocco for a business deal. The colonel informs that if they miss this opportunity, Ilyasi will escape forever. Kabir's team travels to Morocco and positions themselves at the location where Ilyasi is expected to appear. Aditi, one of the team members, directs them by seeing CCTV footage from their place. When Ilyasi arrives, the team points their guns at him and his men. At that moment, Ilyasi tells Kabir, "One of your team members doesn't want to arrest me." Before Kabir can react, one of his own team members, Saurav, turns against them and begins shooting at the team. Kabir is shocked. Khalid tries to shoot Saurav, but Saurav runs away. Khalid immediately starts chasing him. Meanwhile, Kabir manages to shoot some of the criminals, but he is shot in the neck. Ilyasi, taking advantage of the chaos, escapes. After several days, Kabir wakes up in a hospital. The colonel informs him that Ilyasi has escaped. Khalid, who was last seen chasing Saurav, has gone missing. A few days later, Khalid is found unconscious on a beach shore and is admitted to a hospital by the police. Kabir visits him, and Khalid tells him, "I had killed the traitor Saurav." Now, in the present day, Khalid begins tracking Kabir. Meanwhile, Kabir calls Khalid and says, "You've been assigned to catch me. If you ever get the chance to see me, shoot immediately. Otherwise, I'll shoot you." Shocked, Khalid asks, "Why, sir? Have you become a traitor?" Kabir replies, "I've fixed my next target to kill," and abruptly ends a call. In the next scene, an army officer and group of soldiers are traveling on a military flight. Kabir approaches the plane in a private jet. Once he aligns his jet above the military aircraft, he sets it to autopilot and jumps down using a magnetic handle to grab onto the army plane. He breaks in, fights the soldiers, and causes chaos. During the fight, one of the plane's engines is damaged, and the aircraft starts to descend. Kabir engages in a fight with the army officer, asks for a name, and after getting it, throws the officer out of the plane. He then escapes using a parachute. The damaged plane explodes mid-air. The colonel faces pressure from the defense minister because Kabir kills another officer. Under stress, the colonel orders Khalid to capture Kabir immediately. Later, Kabir meets Khalid in a metro train and warns him to stay away. Khalid tries to stop him, but Kabir escapes by showing a small piece of paper with his next target's name, Dr. Utwal Biswas. In the following scene, Kabir is seen at a children's sports day event. There, he meets a young girl named Ruhi. While talking, Ruhi tells him she lost her game. Kabir replies, "It doesn't matter if we win or lose. What matters is whether we gave our best." A flashback begins. After Ilyasi's escape, Kabir had been living in Italy. He was romantically involved with a woman named Nina, a club dancer who performed on various stages. A wealthy businessman named Faraz, captivated by her beauty, sent her expensive gifts and constantly invited her for dinner. Nina declined all his gifts and invites because she was dating Kabir. She confided this in her friend, who then asked, "Have you told Kabir about your daughter, Ruhi?" Nina replied that she planned to tell him soon. It's revealed that Ruhi is Nina's daughter and that Nina is a single mother. Meanwhile, Kabir is secretly tracking Faraz from a distance and reporting everything to the colonel. Faraz is a known surrogate for Ilyasi. As in Spy, Kabir hacks into Faraz's phone calls and CCTV systems. One day, Faraz meets with his accountant. Kabir monitors their conversation. Faraz instructs the accountant to distribute 50 crores across 4 different invisible accounts. When the accountant expresses concern about being tracked, Faraz confidently replies that these accounts are untraceable, adding that even governments have been chasing Ilyasi for 20 years without success. He mentions that a large-scale attack on India is being planned, from which Faraz will earn a huge commission. Kabir confronts Nina and tells her the truth. Their relationship was a part of his mission to get close to Faraz. He reveals he's a spy and that Nina was used as a way to reach Faraz. He offers her a deal. If she became the part of the mission, she gets all her dreams, which is good future for Ruhi. A house of their own will come true. Heartbroken, Nina breaks down and away. The next day, she returns and agrees to help. Kabir assures her safety, but Nina hesitates, saying she no longer trusts him. She hands him a drawing Ruhi had made and says, "Ruhi's dream is to surf in Australia. Don't just use me as bait." You've used your dream too. After the mission, I'll come back to collect this drawing. That night, Nina accepts Faraz's dinner invite. Kabir watches the situation from a nearby boat. The plan is for Nina to extract data from Faraz's laptop. Meanwhile, the colonel contacts Kabir and demands he return if there's no progress. Kabir insists the mission is on track and ends a call. Suspiciously, the colonel makes another call right after. While Nina is at the dinner, Kabir monitors the situation via CCTV. Aditi calls Kabir and reveals that Faraz has been in contact with a plastic surgeon, one known for facial reconstruction. She shares footage confirming that Ilyasi has surgically altered his appearance to look like Faraz. Faraz is Ilyasi. Shocked, Kabir continues watching. While everyone is distracted, Nina slips a pen drive into Faraz's laptop. She later returns to retrieve it, but it's missing. Ilyasi, who is posing as Faraz, holds it in his hand. Nina has been caught. Ilyasi cuts the power. Sensing danger, Kabir rushes into the building, fighting guards along the way. But before he can reach her, Nina falls from the rooftop. She dies instantly. Kabir is devastated. Ilyasi escapes by helicopter. Kabir, emotionally shattered, vanishes and doesn't report back to headquarters. Kabir contacts Aditi. He tells her that during the mission, the only person he told about Nina was the colonel. Aditi traces the colonel's call records and discovers that he spoke to PK Naidu after Kabir's call. So Kabir kills Naidu, who confesses to leaking Nina's details to Ilyasi. When Kabir asks about other insiders, Naidu admits there were two. One already dead, the officer who was killed on the plane, and another who was working to retrieve a drive from Dr. Utwal Biswas. Dr. Biswas, who worked at ISRO for 9 years, is now based at a space research center in Portugal. Khalid is sent to protect him and bring him safely to India. While the army prepares to transport the doctor, Ilyasi contacts him and demands a set of codes. The doctor confirms that the codes are ready, but says the army is already here to take him. Ilyasi replies, "I'll take care of it." On the way to the airport, Ilyasi's men launch a missile attack. Khalid's vehicle flips, and he is knocked unconscious. As the enemy attempts to abduct the doctor, Kabir appears, kills the attackers, and questions Dr. Biswas about the remaining traitor officer. The doctor insists he doesn't know anything and hands over a hard drive. Just then, Khalid regains consciousness. Seeing Kabir, he shoots at him. Kabir escapes, but the bullet hits Dr. Biswas, killing him. Kabir escapes on a motorbike. Khalid follows on another. After a high-speed chase, Kabir makes Khalid fall down and gets away. Following the failed mission, the colonel grows frustrated with Khalid. Due to the critical nature of the mission and his failure to protect the doctor, Khalid is suspended from RAW. After this, Khalid came to know about Nina and Ruhi during Kabir's last mission before killing Naidu. In the next scene, Kabir was celebrating Christmas with Ruhi. Khalid found their location and arrived. They spoke at Kabir's safe house. After their conversation, Khalid learned the whole truth. Kabir explained that Ilyasi had been planning an attack and that he had handed over a drive to Aditi to decode. This drive was retrieved from Dr. Utwal. Meanwhile, criminals started attacking them, but Kabir and Khalid managed to shoot them and escape. They reached Aditi's house in Kerala, where Aditi's wedding was taking place. After the wedding, Aditi met them and handed over the decoded drive. She revealed that it contained a secret code, which was the orbit code for the Indian satellite Brahma. Satellite Brahma was the only communication satellite for soldiers stationed at the borders where mobile and other communication signals couldn't reach. If this satellite were destroyed, it would become impossible to track enemies entering the country and launching attacks. They realized that Ilyasi planned to destroy the satellite using the positioning codes and provoke a war between countries. Kabir and Khalid decided to stop this. Kabir gave the drive to Khalid and told him to keep it safe. After that, Kabir and Khalid were traveling on a houseboat. During the journey, they started drinking. After some time, Khalid behaved strangely and poured his drink on the floor. Kabir, after drinking, became weak. Blood came from his mouth, and he fell down. At this point, Khalid started explaining. During the Morocco mission, Khalid had been chasing Sourav. After a fierce fight, Khalid defeated Sorav, but Ilyasi shot him from behind, and Khalid died. After this, Ilyasi planned and had Khalid's face transplanted on his Sorav using a plastic surgeon. So now, it is revealed that Sorav had been impersonating Khalid since the Morocco mission, and he was also the last officer working for Ilyasi. Moreover, they altered his voice through a laser operation on his throat to match Khalid's. After revealing all this, he threw Kabir into the river. In the next scene, Sorav and Ilyasi were preparing to attack the defense satellite from their icebreaker ship in the Arctic Circle. They loaded the drive given by Kabir into their system, and the missile was launched using the retrieve codes. Meanwhile, someone was landing on the ship using a parachute. It was none other than Kabir. He shot everyone on the ship and held Sorav and Ilyasi at gunpoint, capturing them. Sorav was shocked and asked how Kabir was still alive. Kabir replied, "I knew you were Sorav already." Then he told the flashback. 2 days ago, while we were speaking at the safe house, the criminals attacked. During the fight, you shot perfectly at a target on your right side, but Khalid had a blind spot in his right eye. I asked Aditi to check the office CCTV. She discovered that you had come to the office after your suspension. She checked further and found that one of the poisons was missing. So I planned ahead and told Aditi to prepare an antidote for the poison and to fix a tracker inside the drive. Moreover, while we were on the boat, you asked for drink. That confirmed you weren't Khalid, because Khalid believed drinking alcohol was a sin. Khalid asked, "If you knew I was Sorav, why didn't you kill me back then?" Kabir responded, "If I had killed you then, how would I have found Ilyasi and saved the country from the attack?" But Khalid said, "You still lost because the missile has already been launched." Kabir smiled. Meanwhile, the missile changed direction, and Ilyasi and Sorav were shocked and confused. Kabir explained that he had changed the codes. It would now hit the launch site itself. The missile turned back toward the ship. In the chaos, Ilyasi tried to attack, but was killed. Using the diversion, Sorav escaped in a car from the ship. Kabir followed him in another vehicle. Meanwhile, the missile struck and destroyed the ship. After a long chase, their vehicles crashed into an old building. There, they fought fiercely. They stabbed with iron rods and exchanged brutal blows. After a tough fight, Kabir managed to throw Sorav, who was posing like Khalid from the building, killing him. Later, Kabir met the colonel and asked him to give full credit to Khalid for the mission against Ilyasi, and to let him remain a traitor in the eyes of the government, Ra, and the military. This would allow Kabir to operate freely outside the system. The government awarded Khalid posthumously, and his mother proudly received the honor. Kabir then became a guardian to Ruhi. Fulfilling her wish, they went surfing in Australia. And that's where the story ends. Hope you all enjoyed.